Hi everyone, I'm Nicole Spitler of All Designs Equine and welcome to my door. Today we're going to be making a pine horsehead wreath. I'm going to be showing you how to make the shape in a unique way that I do that is different than a lot of other people. I'm also going to show you some other options of how to do that and some different ways to make it even better than your typical horsehead pine wreath. So let's jump in and get started. The way I do it is I use a regular 24-inch wreath, Christmas wreath. A lot of other people use chicken wire. They make some kind of flat chicken wire horse head and then they attach the pine garland, or I think some other people also have like these wire forms where you can attach your own garland. I also do sell the blanks, but I do mine in a very unique way that is different than everybody else. Another way you can do it that some other wreath makers do, which I don't like quite as good, but it gives you a very precise shape. I'll show you in a second. You can use a wood horsehead form and then staple your pine on to the horsehead shape. This gives you a precise shape, like I said, but it is very stiff looking. So I don't prefer that. I prefer to do it this way. It looks a lot more dynamic. Okay, so I'm gonna turn the wreath over and I'm using like lock cutters. I believe that's what they're called. This is what I use to cut my wreaths because they do take a lot of power to actually cut through. But once you get it cut through, then you don't need those anymore. So I'm going to start with this. Now, the way I'm going to do this is make a very loose, almost like candy cane shape to begin with. So I'm going to pull this gently apart so we don't snap the wire. And then I'm going to bend it. And this is where I say candy cane, because you'll see that that almost gives you like a candy cane shape. Okay, and then if you pull that apart and you keep pulling it, it would just be a candy cane. But instead of unbending it all the way, there's no point in me doing that because I'm going to just bend it back. So I'm going to bend this back like this. And then I'm going to kind of squeeze this together. Now this can take a long time to get the shape. I'm pretty good at I've done like literally hundreds and hundreds of these. So I'm pretty good at it. But this is gonna be the neck. So you can even see like loosely, here's the horse head, here's the neck. Okay, so the neck is going to be like a loose triangle shape, which is just a typical shape we use so much in floral design, but it also happens to be the shape of a neck. So now how I get everything to stay is I twist the pine together, because the pine of course is wire. So in and of itself, it's like makes its own kind of form. So I'm flattening it out a little bit so it's not so like puffy, I guess would be the word. Okay. And then I'm going to just take this pine wire and twist it back onto itself. Okay, and then I'm going to twist this a little bit back onto itself. And I'm going to kind of keep continuing to do that. All right. So now you can see there's more of a crisp line there. And then here we're going to go and work on the horse head. Again, I'm going to kind of flatten it. Okay. And this also, if you think about it, is going to be like another triangle. Okay. Now, because the horse's cheek is here, its muzzle is here. So we're going to do a very loose, once again, a loose shape. But I'm going to make this more of a triangle by taking the pine and twisting it so that I'll fill it in already. And you can already see that just by me doing that. Now I usually do have extra garland because usually you do need to add, like either add length to the neck, or I like to make the neck sometimes a little bit bigger. So I always have that. It is not necessary, but just to get a more precise shape, that's what I do. I like to go back and make it look a little bit better. So I'm just going to keep twisting. Now the horse's head isn't going to be that big, obviously, because the neck is only that big. So I'm just going to like take the pine and twist it onto itself. And I've done this so many times. And I started doing this because somebody had shown me a horse head wreath, like it's been like 8 years ago or something. I used to, you know, hand paint shirts. I still do. But that was my main business. And they're like, hey, do you think you could do a horse head wreath? I'm like, I guess, maybe. So they showed me a picture of somebody's. And I didn't really know how I was going to come up with that shape. But it just occurred to me, like I was trying to find like a candy cane, because I already knew that I wanted to use that kind of a shape, but I couldn't find any pine candy canes. So I'm like, okay, what if I use a wreath and I cut it in half and make my own, you know, quote unquote candy cane shape. So this is what I do. I don't know if there's anybody else who does it this way. I'm sure somebody will after this. But, you know, also the wreaths are, at Christmas time, are very, you know, easy to find, not hard to find. So I usually buy extra throughout the year because I use and make these still, even though I personally like the wood ones better, but a lot of people do still order these. So going to keep adding, and I think I'm going to take some garland. I'm going to add a little bit here and maybe a little bit here to add more length to the neck. Now, of course, I've done this, like I said, a million times. It does look a little bit easier than it actually is, but with some perseverance, you can do the same thing. And Hobby Lobby is actually also selling these pine wreaths already. I can't believe that they already have them out, but they do. So if you want to try it, just go to Hobby Lobby. They already have them out. Sometimes you can even find them online still. So I'm just going to add a little bit more to where the pole of the horse, where the pole would be on the horse. I'm going to add a little bit more here. Make this a little bit thicker. Right. I use these pine wreaths for everything. Now, as I look at this looks crazy because I usually am picking it up all the time and looking at it. So, pro tip, right here. If your horse head is too large, like this one is, I'm going to take the wire and I'm going to bend it backwards. I'm going to feel here, there's another piece of the wire here. And I'm going to bend it backwards. You probably can't do this with your, see that deadly piece of thick wire here? Bend it back in. Now, this is why this is so great, though. Because it gives it its own, like, sturdy shape. If you use chicken wire, it's very floppy, and it just doesn't feel sturdy. Okay, so you can see how big this head is. We're going to take it and we're going to bend the head up a little bit. See if I can do this without, I usually put this on my leg a little bit. Kind of trying to do this in an unnatural way for me. Okay. And then we will twist this together. Okay, it's looking a little bit better. And I can already tell just from doing so many of these that this horse head is still going to probably be too big. It looks okay now, but it will look better smaller. Okay, so you're just gonna have to kind of mess with it and just keep trying to bend it. And then I'm gonna twist this where this hole is. You can see there's like a hole here. Now, I'm gonna give you another really cool thing to do. in a little bit that will help make this so much better than your average pine wreath that you see other people making. Not to blow or toot my own horn, but I do come up with a lot of unique things. So I think that comes from being in the wedding business, where I had to be a total MacGyver, think on my feet. Disaster was happening, things falling down around me. I had to just be so quick to think on my feet. So I've come up with so many different ways to do things different than other people, or just to make things work, because I didn't have the correct, things that I needed at the time. So I kind of fell into that because somebody wanted a horse head wreath, and I did try the chicken wire, and I just thought it was terrible. I just did not like it at all. It was too floppy. So this is what I came up with. Okay. So I'm going to add this on the bottom. And the twisting of the wire onto itself is going to make it really sturdy feeling. If you don't do that, it will feel floppy. It might look okay though, but it needs to feel like very sturdy, in my opinion. It needs to, because I'm selling them, and I can't have, the first ones I ever did, you could kind of flop it around a lot more, but I learned that if you just keep twisting this wire onto itself, it's just going to make it feel very stable. Okay, everyone, we have this pine base done, and next week we're going to be decorating this beauty. We're going to add boxwood, and we're going to add some beautiful florals. So you definitely don't want to miss that video. So if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, leave comments. That would be awesome. And I will see you next Saturday.